Hello.
Ooh,
Hi, Ross.
right.
Um, okay, I'm gonna try to call Joe. He said to call him on his, I don't know if it's his cell or landline.
Okay.
So let me try to add him.
Yeah, it's disappointing about Whoosh.
Yeah,
I
he
thought
seemed to be
he
really.
realised, didn't he know? I mean, that's disappointment, didn't he know? Like, the start of this week that he had an appointment when because it was more or less him who sort of, he was the instigator of the time, not really
Hmm,
the instigator of the time, but I mean, he was there on the conversation. I mean, it was only like 2, 3 days ago. I mean,
yeah, what's going on,
I
really?
just
It's,
find it a bit frustrating, to be honest. I just find it a tad frustrating that, you know, so close, but yeah, he's got an appointment and he's got to be somewhere. And I know his wife's ill and
oh,
his
wait, he said he has, no, you're talking about the meeting. Yeah, is that what you're saying? Yes.
yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
right. I thought you said I thought you said he had to go somewhere else. That's what I thought you were
Yeah,
saying.
he has. He's got to go. Apparently, he's got a meeting with at the hospital about his wife,
Oh,
which
oh.
obviously is obviously takes precedent, and of course,
When did he write that? When was this?
just this morning.
Oh, that's why. I just woke up like an hour
Yeah,
ago. So I
yeah,
didn't I really wasn't paying attention to the chat.
sure. No, he's just written it there, and I just thought. We were only talking about it 2, 3 days ago. Surely, and I know our doctors and our appointments run over here, obviously, because I live here, and
Right.
and I know they give you appointments well in advance. They even phone you a week. It's an electronic call with an electronic voice, but nevertheless, you're phoned 7 days before the appointment, asked if you can make it. Please say yes at the stated time. After the beep, say yes that you'll make it. Rah, rah, rah. So I just find it a bit frustrating that he's had to go to suddenly this meeting.
Right. So he didn't know he should know about it in advance, but he
Well,
didn't.
it's just a
Mm,
bit
That
fucking hell.
convenient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, totally,
Mm.
totally. A bit
No, I
frustrating.
agree. I agree. Really, it's kind of disappointing we're the only ones here. To talk.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
I
the other
mean,
thing that sort of gets my goat about it is the fact that not only are we a bit short-staffed, is you know what I mean. People who are interested and who have got the verve or the drive to be involved are limited on the ground, and that's not simply because of this forum. It's just anyway.
yeah,
Anybody
yeah,
who's wants to be involved and give a positive input for any length of time are hard to find. And Whoosh, for all his faults, and he has got a few, we all have faults, I suppose, but I mean, at least he
yes,
was part of the team. Anyway,
yeah. It's very disappointing situation. I don't know what happened. Well,
yeah,
now I do know what happened, but it's like, come on. Anyway,
he's got to see to his wife. So hey,
right, yeah.
hopefully you'll be back. Maybe you'll be back before the end of the meeting or something. But so, well, shall we see if we can get hold of Joe at least?
Yeah, I'm gonna try calling him now and see what.
Yeah, can't
I'm
believe
trying to add a
Pat hasn't
person to the
turned up.
call. Who?
Pat,
Pat. Oh yeah, Pat. I don't know.
he said he was
Every
coming.
time yeah. I mean, he's always like in the mountains or in Turkey. I
He's
don't know
just
what he's doing.
he's just come
I mean, he
back.
must be going. Yeah, I don't know if he's going on these pilgrimages or something or
He's just
what
into
that.
walking, isn't he? He's just into
Yeah,
walking.
oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Well,
know.
that's cool. But I thought he was coming. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, he
People,
said he'd
that's
be
the one
there.
thing. It's people say that they're going to show up and then they don't. They don't.
He said
Well, I
as
mean,
long as it's any time after lunch. His words were, "Any time after lunch, it'll be fine." It's all there in the messages thing, and so you suggested, well, what about 1 p.m. For us, and then obviously it's 8 a.m. in the morning for you guys. Everyone agreed. Yes, 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 yes. Yet there's only two of us here.
it's just
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just
yeah, just
oh,
frustrating. Oh, I'm gonna try to call him now.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's see. I bet you he's not gonna answer. He's probably sleeping.
What
I don't know
time's
if
it?
Indiana's. I don't know if that's a different time zone or not. I'm not really sure. I should know, but I don't. I
Oh,
don't
that's
think it
like
is. Possible.
that's
Maybe
the
it is a different.
Rapids way, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's the same. I think it's the same time zone as the main web server.
Hello.
Uh,
Please state your name after the tone, and Google Voice will try to reach.
Joe Stackhouse.
uh, hey, Joe, it's Mike and Ross here. What? What the hell? What? Oh, God.
Is this? Has he got an extension?
I have no idea what that is. What just happened? Certainly didn't call him again. It's just doing it on its own now.
Oh well, I mean, at least I think he'll know that you've called.
Available
Did
right
you
now.
get your
Please
name
leave
on?
your name and number, and I will get back to you as
Oh,
soon
there
as
we go.
possible. Thanks.
All right, I'll just leave a message. Hey, Joe, it's Mike Fara here with Ross, and we're having the meeting. It's just us two now. Nobody else showed up, so you said to call if you're not around. So we did give you a call, but all right, give us a call because we're here till I guess 9 o'clock or something, maybe. All right, bye.
Take,
Yeah, I don't know
how long
what
it takes?
am I supposed to say. So, well, geez, this is strange. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, I figured we'd have like a whole group of people here, but I guess not. All right, so maybe we should address that issue. I mean, right off the bat, like, even Whoosh was saying, hey, there's not that many people invested in the website as far as, we have a whole bunch of moderators and stuff, and like they're just not around. And obviously, people have busy lives, like you said, and um, but I mean, this is at the point where it's kind of crazy. It's just you and me talking at this point, and I even just to. I mean, I know I can always reach you, but it was like we had to schedule this meeting just to talk, which is fine, but no one else came to the meeting. I'm not really sure if anyone else but you actually, Ross, is and this is kind of crazy to say this. I'm not sure anyone else is moderating. I would have to check the logs. I don't want to say,
Wishes.
yeah, no one.
Wishes.
Right,
Because I
yeah,
see his name on the where he's taken the, I see where his name's where he's done some moderating. I can see it's him who's done it. So he
right,
is, he is getting rid of some spam. Yeah, he's definitely doing that. Yeah, but as opposed to, but to be honest, Mike, at the end of the day, it's always we've always found this over the years that we take people on, and usually the younger, and they're looking for a bit of glory and a bit of they love being a moderator, and the power,
right.
the newfound power, and exactly,
Uh,
but then when they
everyone,
realise that really there's nothing really glamorous about the job, it's just a case of and then at the end of the day, it does get boring, and tedious, just getting rid of spammers all the time. Yeah, it ain't much fun. Of course it ain't,
hmm,
but it's still got to be done. And we
yeah,
need people we can rely on. And if we can't find anybody we can rely on, why don't we just stick to ourselves? At least we know the job gets done.
yes, but it's kind of like, oh, right. I see what you're saying. It's like everyone
Mm,
wants superpowers and they think it's going to be great, and they're going, and then after a
mm,
while, it's like, okay, this is boring. Um, so I think it takes a certain level of maturity
mm,
just to
mm.
do it. But
Pat
yeah, I
does it as
guess
well.
even
Pat,
yeah, I've seen Pat on. Yeah, I've seen him on. Yeah, it's just I think it just may be that small group that we have that's doing anything. And then, like Joe is great because obviously we just called him, and I'm like, he is great. He knows so much. He's so knowledgeable and stuff. But
sure.
now he's running his own, basically his own business, and I don't know what what
His
should we do?
priorities obviously are like that's understandable. I mean, you can understand that. But you
Right.
see, the recent thing that kind of angered me a little bit was Jim as well. I mean, the guy, for whatever his reasons, left the staff.
Joe's actually calling right now. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
Let me see if I can add him to the group.
Hmm.
Hello?
Hello, Mike. How are you?
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
What
Morning,
time is
Joe.
it over there? 7 a.m.?
8:11 here.
What?
8:11. 8:12.
Oh,
Sorry.
right. Oh, you're still in the same time zone. Okay, sorry. No, yeah, I was thinking, is that the same time zone or is it not? All right, yes, okay. Are you in one of those states where the time zone splits in two?
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up around here.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, okay. uh, yeah. So Ross, you were saying? Thanks
Well,
for
I just said
joining,
morning.
by the way.
I just said morning to Joe, and just to
Right.
not to be totally
Well,
ignorant.
well, we
And
were talking. Yeah, just to rehash, Joe, we were talking about real quick the inactivity of everybody on the website and what's going on with that, and then we got on to the subject of Jim, who actually quit the website. Well, I mean, he didn't quit the website, but he decided not to be a moderator anymore, and then whatever. So, okay, go ahead, Ross.
no, he just sort of bugged me a little bit the way he was then moaning incessantly about spammers. And I said, and I turned around and said, well, hey, you were in a position to do something about it, and
Right. I mean, the spam alerts that he would be seeing, that those are spam bots or whoever, some people from India or whatever it is, that were already caught by the system already. So
mm,
it's like
mm,
all he has to do is push a button and look at them and see if it's really spam or not. It's not like, when the website first started, I mean, it was spam directly. People were reading it. I mean, it was directly on the pages. You'd have to search through the pages to excuse me, to find it. You know what I mean? So,
mm.
is that he's complaining about the spam that was already caught, that he has to determine if it's spam or not by clicking one button on his mouse?
No, he was going on about he was moaning about the muscle building spammer, the one that posts all about the muscle building and weight gain stuff that they post up and stuff, and that. And it was, it was, I don't know, the post is in there somewhere, and he just kept bitching about the fact that it wasn't being removed, and he kept saying, where's the spam police? Where's spam people? Like, basically, why aren't you like doing your jobs? Particularly, and he just angered me, the fact that he just left the staff. He could have been. He was already in a position to do something about it. And then he leaves, and then comes back and starts moaning at the spam in the forum. And
Right. Well,
I just
see,
sort of think, well,
he actually emailed me recently and said like some crazy thing, like because I had accidentally left him on the mailing list for the
yeah,
admin mailing and the staff, I guess, and he was like, immediately remove me
sort of,
or restore my moderator privileges right away. And I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, can you at least like be a little civil or something? Like, I
yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So I just removed him off the thing. It was
Mm.
a mistake. I even told him that. And then when I didn't remove it fast enough, that's when he sent me that crazy email that was like, remove it right away or restore my moderator privilege. So it was like, even if I thought about it, I was like, well, I could ask him to come back, but then it's like he just asked for the moderator privileges without even, I don't know, without even like speaking to anybody or anything. Like, he just kind of sent it in some crazy email. So I don't know what that was all about. And remember, he quit the first time because he didn't even agree with the moderator rules or something.
Something like
Like,
that. He didn't have enough
yeah.
moderator powers or something. He couldn't get the
All
job
right. No,
done
yeah, he
himself.
didn't.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the first time he did that. Even before that, the last time he quit, it was because he didn't like the fact that he couldn't get the ban list of every single person that's ever been banned. And I told him I can't compromise those people's information. It's like there's the email addresses, there's the IP addresses.
I just
I
don't want
can't
it
just
anyway.
give that away, you know what I mean? And then that was the last time, but before that it was like he didn't like the moderator rules in the PDF or whatever that nobody ever reads anymore, but they're still there. And I haven't even updated it for the right website. And but he resigned over that, and that then still I even asked him to come back even after that, and he did. But I don't know why, because he seemed like to be part of the group. You know, he seemed like he was in the chat and stuff anyway. Why not just
Yeah,
come back?
yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. And then when he became a moderator, it was like I don't know. He was there was one time I think he sent me a weird message like, "How do I reply to a post?" I'm like, "What the?" You know, like hit the reply button, dude.
I've
You
more or
know?
less washed my hands of the old chat. We don't even speak at the moment, Jim and myself, which is a
Right.
huge shame. We've been friends for years. But I just don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on. And every time I speak to him, he seems to be angry about something. If it isn't this, it's that. If it isn't that, it's this. And whether he's angry about something else and he's just using those things to, I don't know, to kick off on. I don't know, but.
Yeah, I
I
don't
just thought,
know.
well, give him some space, let him, So I'm just staying out of the way at the moment.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's no point in it's water under the bridge at this point, I'd say.
Sure, he's a great guy. I mean, he's but and I do value his friendship totally, but I just don't know what the hell's going off at the moment.
No, I mean, I did too at a point, but then, he started posting these weird messages on Skype,
Mm,
like,
and in the forum as well, these little, and then he started swearing, and then none of us,
right,
I mean, the odd little swear word, fair enough, you let it slide, and because a little expletive can sometimes add, quite a
flavor
bit
to
of
the
weight, yeah,
conversation, yeah.
but and it gets the message across, blah blah blah. But I mean, not the way he was doing it. He was like effing it and jeffing it and everybody, and I said, look, you're gonna have to cut it out. And he took umbrage with that, and so in
Right.
fact that was the last thing. We haven't spoke since I've had to slap his wrist because of that.
What was that thing he said? Because we should even address this. He was like, he had said that the website has some weird liberal constitutional First Amendment agenda. And then I was like, what the hell are you talking? I'm thinking to myself, like, what are you talking about? Like, just what the hell are you talking about? And he wrote this on the website, on the forums, on the forum announcement thing. And I was like, I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, it's just crazy. What, because people are allowed to talk on a forum or whatever? Like, what were we supposed to do? Lock the whole thing down? I mean, I don't understand what he was trying to say with that. Like the
I
website had
don't
become political.
instance. I don't know.
I don't know what he was saying. So, I mean, we had like the most conservative guy ever in the United States, and that's even more conservative than you people in Europe. That Ron Paul guy. I mean, we had Ron Paul's video about the NSA thing, spying and stuff. That took a lot to get that video, and just to make the 5-minute clip. So that's not liberal. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. There's no politics involved in the managing of the website. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, we don't talk about, time to go to some political meeting today. I don't know what that's about. So who knows? That's just madness. I
So
mean,
anyway, I mean, the reason why we got onto this topic was basically because of the spam, which is always an incessant problem. We've always got it. We're
right.
always going to discuss it. And I suppose, I mean, what what are we trying to sort out here? Do we want any more moderators, or basically, because the way I see it is, this is my point of view on it, is I don't really think that we need to employ anybody else. Well, not employ, but to really take anybody else, simply because
Right.
unless somebody comes up and who is reliable, isn't a glory hunter, and it's going to
Seems like they really
disappear.
want to be involved. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to disappear in the next 6 months. Otherwise,
Right.
we might as well just stick to ourselves doing it.
I kind of agree, but just say, oh, it's kind of like uh, people just look. I mean, it could be like one day you just disappear out of nowhere, and then it's like, or even maybe Joe just like disappears out of nowhere, because it's the internet. People just disappear for some reason.
True.
I'm not
But
saying that you're going to do that, but it's
no,
possible. You know what I mean? Like,
surely
so I don't.
wouldn't we cross that bridge when we came to it?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I would because we're the only three left, really. I mean, other than maybe Mike, Whoosh, and
Which,
Pat. But the thing is, we have a whole bunch of people just having these privileges. Kind of, I don't really know what they're doing, to be quite honest. Certainly, I only see Pat answering people's questions and stuff, and you and me sometimes, but mostly I'm trying to update the site and dealing with these trademark issues. And so I don't know. It just seems kind of off. What do you think,
and
Joe?
also, Mike, don't do yourself a disservice. I mean, you've
Joe probably
also
put us
had
on
a
hold.
recent huge. Sorry.
No, I was just joking. I said Joe probably put us on hold. Joe, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm driving at the moment. So.
You're driving. Are you have? Are you
Yeah.
hands free?
Well,
Are you
I got to
hands-free?
the office. I got to the office, and one of the kiddos left something home that they need for second period, so I'm dropping that off at the school right now.
Okay, so you're on speakerphone. You're not,
Right.
driving around like a lunatic. Okay,
Right.
that's good. Okay, all right, that's fine, dude. Whatever. All right. So Ross, you were saying?
No, I was just saying, don't forget though, you've also had a huge mountain of stuff to sort out. You know,
Right.
regarding your
I
grandfather and and events surrounding that. So I mean, really, I haven't. The way I've seen it is that I haven't really sort of included you because I know that you've had a really tough time just lately. So I know that the perhaps work that you've been doing on the forum has been very limited, simply because you've got other more important stuff to do. And that's you just got to do it. It's unavoidable. It's not
right.
like you could simply just say, well, no, I can't do that. I've got to do the
Yeah,
forum.
today I can't just every day say, well, today I'm just going to work on the forum all day long. And
Yeah,
obviously there's some days where I actually can,
yeah,
but those have become few and far between. But I'm still always around. I'm just I'm a beep away, a phone call away,
sure.
a notification away. So it's not like I'm totally divorced from what's going on. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Everybody, the thing is, everybody
I think
has
people
these
have
issues.
lost sight of that fact.
It's possible, I don't know what other people think of what they're saying about me. I don't know. So, but that to me, that's not that important. Well, it is important for the website, but it's not important for I don't need to be told, oh, you're doing wonderful. And, it's a website, it's not that big of a deal. But when you think about if people are just not interested in the website anymore and if it's our own team, then imagine what the viewers and the members and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
must think. They must be like,
Because
where
I
the
think it's
hell
a
is
big deal, though,
everybody?
Mike. I think it is not just a website, though. It's a community, and it is a big deal. I mean, there's like how
Well,
many
right. I mean,
million
the thing,
people?
yeah, millions of people have visited the site, and the question really is, we have about a 10% return rate. So there's like 90% of people that come. It's always been this way, and I don't think they were ever going to change this. There's
Hmm.
like 90% of the people that visit the site, they never come back to the site. They visit one page, maybe they get their answer, whoever, no one will ever know, and then they don't participate. but there are like 10% of those 1 million people every month that visit or whatever it is, they actually do come back. But so if it's just you, me, and occasionally Joe, what usually when Joe gets involved, there's like some huge major contribution that no I'd never thought of before. And with Whoosh, if we all become, if everyone starts thinking, it's sort of like self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if everyone thinks that we're really divorced from what's going on here, and we're not really, even taking an interest in what's going on, which I don't think that's happened yet, but it's
No,
maybe
no, not
we
at all.
might be getting. We start looking really bad to people because we're just only four people doing this. And to be honest with you, that thing, the moderator application, has been on the website for months and no one's filled it out. It's still there, buried down there somewhere, now looking for moderators or whatever in the announcement thing, and no one's actually signed up. So even if we were looking for additional people, it I'm not sure we could even find anybody.
We're not,
You know?
yeah, we're not bashing them away, are we? But
No, and
hey,
when the site was windows7forums.com, there
mm,
was a lot more interest.
mm,
I mean, I was just at a dentist's office, and mind you, I have to go back at 9:30 today. They're still using Windows XP. I mean, these issues are not going away with upgrading and stuff like this. I think it all depends on where people are getting that information from and how they're going to use it and which site are they going to go to and who's most active on these sites and so forth and so on. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we are super active on the site compared to everybody else. I mean, it's almost like we're doing the whole thing. I don't know about, like, obviously Cheyenne is a great guy, but I don't know where he ever is, Like, I haven't seen him on the site in forever,
yeah, same.
but then I see him posting other stuff all over the place on his own website or whatever, and I'm thinking, is this guy even interested anymore? And if he's not, he should resign. Like, I'll tell you what, this wasn't even brought up, but um what's his name? Mitchell. He
Mm,
actually resigned from the website, and I was like, "Look, you've done too much already. Like you've been a big help, and you know what? You don't have to resign. We'll just come on whenever you want if you want to. You don't
yeah,
have to."
yeah,
And that's it, But at least he had the decency to say, like,
yeah,
"Look, I'm not going to be on the site that much anymore. Probably not a lot at all, because I've
yeah.
got all this stuff going on in my life." So I don't know, I don't know what if there's a solution. I mean, it could be just a problem in our brains that we think like, oh, there's not enough people. We need more. Like you said. I think I agree with what you said. Where, well, we need to find someone who's not going to disappear after they get bored of their superpowers, you might call it. A lot of people view it that way, and then the prestige of all of it, and then it wears off, and
Yeah.
I think the website's sort of losing prestige, though, if only because I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I
It's
mean, it did get. The thing is, I mean, the website did turn into. I mean, the website did have this image of Windows 7 forums, blah blah blah, and then of course all that was lost, and now it's just Windows forums, and of course it's basically like a new website, really. And I think, and then I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again, and I think it's only really because the fact that you've got this wealth of previous material that obviously gives the search engines a lot to go on. Otherwise, I
right,
don't think you'd be seeing the figures that you've seen already. I think because it basically is
right.
like a brand new website, isn't it? Really,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
basically having to start all over again.
It kind of does seem that way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And then we have all of a sudden, because of that change, I guess we'll move on to the subject. There's obviously Microsoft has decided to go mad with these mobile applications. as far as demanding they be changed and so forth because the logo they claim is theirs. Well, I mean, my opinion of that is, look, this logo is a square, okay? It's a square with 4 boxes in it, rotated 90 degrees, with color gradients in it, and it looks nothing like the official Windows 7 logo or the Windows 8. Well, it does look a little bit like the Windows 8 logo. Let's be honest, it does look like that, but it's not the same logo. You know what I mean? It's not the same
Have you
image, but they seem to have some issue with this, and
have you
I
had
don't
any
understand what.
dialogue with them yet?
Yeah, I spoke to the paralegal that took the app offline. I didn't speak to her, but she emailed me back and she said, "Well, you're going to have to resubmit a modified version with the proper specifications, but I can't give you any legal advice." It's like, come on, what are you people doing all day? I mean, as far as the legal team goes, it's like, I'm sorry to say, but who knows what they're doing over there? I mean, is this all you have to do all day? And if they're going after the mobile apps, why not just go after the website? Well, I think I don't know if this is the case because this is a huge multinational corporation. And mind you, the website's about their products. I don't know if they view the website itself as some pariah, like maybe they're upset they don't have that name or something. I don't really know. I don't know why only go after the mobile apps? Why not go after every possible little minute problem you could possibly find anywhere and just try to get the whole website because I don't think they have the ability to do that really, the pull to do that. And I think why did we get all these awards if they're doing this? So there's a big disconnect between like the community program, the MVP program, and this legal team that's just sort of like, oh, somebody at Microsoft downloaded this stupid app and they view it as bad for their image or something. Well, it's just going to get worse because what do you want me to name it now? So they said Windows Forum is not an acceptable name for the mobile app. What do we call it? Broken Windows, I mean, what the hell do you want to call it? Your computer's a piece of crap,
Well, what does it make any
like
difference to them if what it's called? Oh, I suppose if it's called Windows 8, I mean, I suppose if it's nicking something directly, yeah, I can understand. But I mean,
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not called Microsoft Windows Forums. It's not
yeah,
called Microsoft Windows. It's not. That's not the name of the app. It's called Windows Forums because the website. That's what it's about. It's a public
yeah,
forum.
yeah. Ipso
It's not
facto.
like
Yeah.
we're. Yeah, and even in all the terms of service, the conditions of use, blah blah blah, it all says this is not an official Microsoft website. It's emphasized an infinite number of times. It's obvious that it's not. So I don't. People are downloading this thing trying to get assistance. It's free download, so it's not like, there's no fortune being built here or anything. I don't know what the big deal is. It's not like,
Is there anybody else you can
like I,
speak to other than the paralegal?
That's what
well,
I was.
what are you saying, Joe?
That's what I was thinking. If you can get somebody else at Microsoft involved that can talk to both of you and work things out, it might be worth it for longer.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. I mean,
And changing the logo, let's face it, just changing the logo to something completely yours that doesn't resemble Microsoft's crap at all would probably also save you headaches.
right. No, I agree with that. I mean, that's the least we can do is change the stupid logo around. But see, I think the problem is when you change that logo, now everybody has lost recognition of what's going on, unless it actually looks better than the original, which I think is very much. Well, we could probably pull that off, but it would still look kind of. Oh, I hate to bring it up again, but it kind of looked like 7forums.com or something with the crazy diamond looking ridiculous thing. I don't know.
Well, this kind of almost, well, it's a rather tenuous link, but it's a link anyway. But it kind of fits in what I was going to. One of the things I wanted to bring up today is about the.
I mean, I've never heard of a company that has a trademark over a square and 4 colors. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, go ahead.
is
Go
the
ahead, Ron.
tutorial
Sorry.
sections in both.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, this was brought up because yes, there was that guy on the
Yeah,
announcements, and he
but
was like, "The
also,
tutorials here suck. What can we do?" And blah blah blah. Okay, yes, go ahead.
yeah, I mean, well, there's a couple of things I think would benefit if we can sort of like, I don't know. I was going to suggest let's create a working group that let's like either Joe, myself, yourself, or whoever's interested to come up with some sort of guidelines which we can have in on the tutorial section of how the tutorial should look. Like a certain section should be bold, then underlined, and blah blah blah, or something like that. Because otherwise, I'm just trying to get around. The only thing, the reason why I'm suggesting this is because of Drew and all of his tutorials. They are absolutely crazy. I mean, he can understand them doesn't mean to say that you can understand them.
Right.
And if we could get, if there was like, if the tutorial section had guidelines on how it looked, because the forum itself had a certain had a look which could then be tied in with the app.
Well,
On,
my view
on.
is like, well, the thing with the tutorial forum is that I feel like if anyone's even writing one, we're kind of lucky at this point. It's like
Yeah.
I don't, I haven't seen anybody write a real tutorial that's in depth and has screenshots and stuff, or even, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Well,
And
hopefully,
I
if you
don't
put,
know if
I mean, I
should
would
we
put a
make those
couple up.
a requirement? Yeah, I mean,
Sorry.
of course you've done it, Ross. I know that you've done it, and I've done it, and a lot of people have done it, but not in a while. And what I'm saying is,
No.
should there be the thing with Windows 8 is like it's just like Windows 7. So if you don't get Windows 7, how the hell are you going to understand Windows 8? So I mean, there's not that much of a difference. Let's be honest, except for
No.
the start screen and so forth and so on. But the thing is, I mean, the mechanics are basically the same. The same procedures to go into safe mode are still there. It's not really that different. There is obviously a big aesthetic difference, and then the way things work.
Yeah,
So,
but
but
if you
what
look
I'm
at it
trying to say,
from the standpoint of a perfect beginner,
right?
and who's trying to use their computer from the very first time, you come across one of Drew's, uh, you know, I mean, what the hell can you can't
Well,
even
I
read
don't.
it?
Right, right. It's just like sometimes it should just say reformat your whole computer if you're gonna go with that crazy stuff. Sometimes he responds to people and he's just like, you know, uh, this is not gonna work. You should be doing this when and the advice sometimes is pretty lousy. I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of a specific example, but it's like
Well,
sometimes just like uninstall that program and never run it again. So like sometimes he's like that's his
because
response.
he abbreviates everything,
Right.
and he abbreviates everything to the nth degree, to the point that it's so abbreviated that you just can't understand what the hell is going on. And I was thinking, if we just create some guidelines that say, look, these have got to be, if you're going to do a tutorial, set it out so, um, it's clear, concise, has a point, and there's a point to it, and ultimately there's a goal, and
Right. There's an end goal. There's some kind of
mm, mm,
the goal of this tutorial forum should be to like like achieve some objective, which should be to actually there should well maybe we should list stuff people shouldn't make as their objective. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like because there needs to be an end to what the tutorial is for, and
yeah,
should it have
yeah.
the
How
should the
do
construct
I?
The
but
instructions should
how do I burn a
size.
CD? You know, and
Right, and it's
just
not the answer shouldn't be, well, download image burn and then figure it out. You know, that's not a
yeah,
proper
or go to
tutorial.
this
Right.
link, or yeah,
Right.
you know,
Go to this link and figure it out there. You know, that doesn't make any. Then that's not a tutorial section. It's just like, get out of here kind of thing.
yeah.
You know, I don't.
See, I'm just trying to give the. I was just thinking it would. You know, if you've got a load of these tutorials which are all nicely set out, and you know, I know not every one is going to be exactly the same, but I was just thinking it would just give the forum a little bit more professional look. You know,
Right, right. There needs to be some organization to that area.
yeah.
But then, you know, then we're stepping on somebody's toes as far as maybe Drew as an example.
Well,
And no,
I was
I
going
don't
to
want to make an
simply
example of him.
suggest is put all of his tutorials in a sticky and call it Drew's tutorials. Now, if people want to access it and have a look, then fair enough. But from there on in, Drew would have to go by the guidelines, which will be up concerning his tutorials. And
Well,
whenever he wrote a tutorial,
are
it
you
would have.
suggesting we give him his own section like Whoosh?
No. All I'm saying.
Okay, like Drew's Corner or something.
No.
Right.
I was saying, all just like all the ones that he's already done. Just say, well, look, they don't really fit the guidelines, but rather than delete them, what we'll do, we'll stick them in a sticky. You've still got them, you know, because that's
Right.
in
Or
the Windows 8.
categorize them in some way. You're right. Categorize them as this is Drew. Maybe we
Drew
do need
Tutorial.
like. Listen, maybe we do need like under the tutorial section. Maybe we should have like those prefixes for what everything is, or something like that, right? I think we should have some organizational structure to it where, okay, this is a hardware tutorial. This is a software. So I don't know if that's too complicated, though. I mean,
I don't think that's too good. I think looking for tutorials and I want kind of structure. I mean,
can you
about
repeat that?
somebody-
Kind of break. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think having organization is a good thing. I mean, if you're looking for tutorials, that means you know how to do certain things, and once you look at the tutorial, you like it, you're going to want to find others, and I want to see them and kind of find. No.
So you're breaking up, but I think the gist of what you were saying was people do not want to sift through all of this nonsense, correct?
Right.
And now all of a sudden you're clear. Yeah, I got you.
Sorry,
I agree with that. He basically said, Ross. He basically said, "Well, you can go ahead, Joe. You're there. Go ahead."
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if I'm still. Can you hear me right now?
Now you sound great. Now you sound like crystal clear for some reason. Okay, go ahead.
No, if you're on the site and you're looking for tutorials, obviously you're probably a user that's trying to learn about Windows.
Yeah.
And if there's no kind of organization whatsoever, if you've got to scroll down or hit Control F in your browser to find something because it's not organized at all, I think you're just going to leave the tutorial section. Maybe you'll hit the search thing up on the site and search for some related article that way. I don't know.
Right. And I don't, the reliance on the search isn't that good, because then you come up with all this crazy stuff that doesn't have any relevancy, which is why it was good to see that we were able to add some relevancy to the search. Like if the post was over a year old, it's kind of not as relevant as one that's newer, unless you're specifically searching for that term and it comes up and it's an older post. You know what I mean? Like we have a thing now where, and this is fairly new, where if you do search on something, and I know this is going a bit off topic, but whatever, there is some relevancy. There's the posts are, the search is weighted, you might say. So like, look, if something was written 4 years ago, chances are it's not going to come up because it's no longer as relevant as something from 2014. But if you search for, just say you search for error code 0x 8x03C5, that would come up right away no matter what year it was written in, because it's so specific. You know what I'm saying? So we did add that. At least we have that in there now. But I agree with you with the tutorials. I don't think someone goes to the search make sure that the tutorials form is the only form they're searching, and then I don't think that's happening. And there's only, if I'm looking at it right now, there's 95 discussions, 498 messages in the tutorial section. That's not a lot, and a lot of it's just hogwash. I mean, there are some good ones
Can
that
I
we have
just
sticky.
sorry to butt in, but Patrick's
Yes.
it.
Oh, Pat is here.
Yes.
All right, we will add him. Let me see if I can add him to the room here, or whatever you want to call this thing, channel. Alrighty, let's give him a call. Oh boy, hold on. The Skype is
still great to me.
remarkably.
Oh, I see him as great.
I'm trying to add him into the window. He shows up online for me. I don't know. Sometimes Skype does that. I've noticed that. Maybe he has you. Maybe he leaves it on, but he goes invisible or something when he's not available. I don't know.
Be. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
All right, I just invited him on. Or sometimes the status updates on Skype don't really change for some people. I've seen that happen before. We're getting a video feed from him. No. Yeah. Yes. Hi, Pat.
Hello, Mike.
Good to see you here.
Okay.
Is that lagging on anybody?
Yeah,
And Joe, are you still here?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm seeing a strange yellow exclamation point in front of your face. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming there's some kind of. Who knows what that means? Who cares? If you're still here, it doesn't matter. Okay, so.
I'm actually on my cell phone, so I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it's rating your connection as poor or something. Who knows? Well,
Shall we
Pat,
just bring Patrick up to speed?
Yes. Well, we were discussing multiple subjects here, but mostly we were on the tutorial section, Pat. And prior to that, we discussed the issue of inactivity going on and how it affects the people who come to the website and what can be done about that. And then we were also discussing Microsoft and the issues with the mobile apps. But for the most part, I think we were right now on the tutorial section, what we can do, because this was an issue that was brought up even by someone who just thought the tutorial section was terrible. We're trying to figure out what we can do to improve that area, and I think Ross had some good ideas. So Ross, if you want to, I don't know, give your input, go right ahead.
Well, all I suggested, Pat, was if we created if anybody was interested in creating a little working group, as it could be, just to work out some guidelines and, well, just to make the tutorial section and make the tutorial section better and produce a post or thread which will act as guidelines. So if anybody wants to add a tutorial in there, they can follow the guidelines, and it can, hopefully each tutorial will actually mean something, have some objectivity, as opposed to, because we've got people posting in there at the moment. Sometimes
and
I
a
just
lot
think
of it. Yeah, a lot of it's nonsense. Yeah. Sorry, Ross.
Just to create a post. Yeah, it's some of it is, and apparently one of them is even quite dangerous. So, so I'm just trying to think, trying to get a way of trying to get the place to look a bit more professional.
Well, as far as I can input with the software, on the software angle, I think Joe understands too. We're running the Zen 4.0 forum platform now, whereas we used to run vBulletin, but vBulletin kind of crashed into a wall at 100 miles an hour as far as vBulletin 5. So we're using the Zen 4.0 model of software, And I think, Joe, you were even experimenting with some kind of Windows app for the website and stuff. So
Briefly.
ultimately, yeah, briefly, but it was pretty good for briefly. So, but except I don't think Microsoft, their guide, the way that they process these apps in the App Store is crazy. But also, that the point being is that if we can look for some stuff that makes the tutorial section a bit more like a tutorial section and not necessarily a forum, because obviously at the end of the day, it's a forum inside the forum. So it's like, it's basically under the same rules as where anyone else would ask a question. I think maybe we could start off with like some guidelines and just post that as a sticky as to, look, please do not post any kind of dangerous, reformat your whole computer and then install, this weird program that will fix everything. Let's try to avoid people posting junk, and also have some kind of categorization. Like there should be some, I will, even if I have to do it, I'll do it. There should be some kind of tutorial like, okay, how does Windows 8 work? And what is going on with Windows 8. Like somebody that just has never used a computer, the last time they used a computer, maybe Windows XP, maybe like some sort of refresher as to, what is going on here? What are the minimum system requirements to install this operating system? How do you navigate through it and things like this? Easier said than done. I mean, could take quite a while, and who knows if anyone will read it. But I think maybe just start at step one and work our way from there into some
but I
more
was thinking
advanced.
more having a post on guidelines on how the actual tutorial should look, as opposed to
Right.
having a heading, a method, and if any if any screenshots are going to be put up, if any pictures are going to be used, if any links are going to be posted. This is why I say perhaps let's create a little working group that we can sort of thrash out probably the best way to post these up, the easiest way, probably, just so that each tutorial looks pretty much, not exactly the same, but there's a thread running through.
It has some, yeah, right. It has some standard to it.
Yes,
It's not just,
exactly.
some gibberish or
And I
whatever.
think the
Yes.
higher standard we can get, it can only improve the website. I can't see how it can do it, as long as
Right. I
it's
mean, there were
achievable, as long as it's not like, goals which are just way beyond.
that are just, beyond our grasp. Right. I mean,
Yeah.
creating tutorials for every possible scenario is not something I think we're ready to do. If anything, the
Well, no,
people who visit the
it's just that
website should be
you don't
interested
need to
in
use
doing that.
Photoshop or something to create these tutorials. That's what I was meaning, really. That anybody can.
Right, right. No, I agree. The thing is, with this working group that you're proposing, Ross, uh, like we said, we only have you, Joe, Pat, perhaps, and Mike Woosh, uh, to do this. So, I mean,
So
how big would this group be, is what I'm saying. Should it just be all of us, or?
just as you like, really. I mean, it's like I say, it's just a suggestion, and we don't even have to do it. It's just really, it's just an idea. If anyone's got a better one, or if you think we should, not even go down that road and just think about something else, then fair enough. It's just a.
Well, yeah, we need to look at it as a separate issue. I agree. Joe, what do you think about all this?
I think maybe we need to do a little research and look at some other sites that have a good tutorial base and learn what works, what doesn't.
Exactly. Bang on. I totally agree.
Right. Well, I hate to talk about the other Windows websites, but I don't mind, but you have to, yeah. But like Seven Forums, which we always get on the subject of Seven Forums and their immaculate success. They and in some ways it's been ill-founded. In some ways, they have a tutorial section that's great, but my understanding is that they had I don't know if they contracted out people to write them or some MVPs wrote them, and then all these MVPs got kicked off, and so the ownership was changed to another person, and I think that's kind of unethical. Obviously, that would never happen here, but I'm just thinking like, well, that's these people took all this time to write these tutorials, then. So there is, yeah, obviously they have an advantage because they got all these people to write these tutorials for them, and then they kick them off the damn website. I mean, is that what's happening all over the internet now? Or, I mean, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't have paid writers and stuff. I don't know if they do, or these other websites do, but so there's a conundrum in and of itself. It's like, to get good content, you need people who are capable of writing good content. And I'm not saying that it would be it would be not incorrect to say that people are incapable of doing that, but what incentive do they really have? I mean, most people are coming to the website looking for an answer to their question. They look for it. If they don't find it, they leave. If they find it, they find it, and then they leave. So, the whole idea of giving back some kind of knowledge or wisdom, this is not something that happens often. You know what I mean? This is the problem. I mean, we have some tutorials where the guy wrote it. He wrote this great tutorial. It's gotten like 100,000 views or whatever, and then we've never heard from him again.
Yeah, you only missed it one time. But still, I mean, with tutorials like that, if we did, come up with the guidelines, we can always keep the but just rewrite it again, but in that style, if you see what I mean.
Right, but see, I have a problem with taking someone else's writing.
Oh
and
no,
then,
it's still attributed to him.
right,
But just
like this was originally written by so and so, right, or whatever.
Yeah. Effectively, it would be as if he'd written it. You know what I mean? It doesn't really matter, does it? Really, at the end of the day, as long as his name's attributed to it, and we're not trying to steal it, it doesn't matter. Really.
Right.
Because in effect, that's already happened anyway. When you changed the view of the forum, that effectively happened anyway.
Right, but I mean that person can still access their account. Their email is still tied to that account.
And they still would be able to, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Well, I think we'll start up a group to work on tutorials. I think that's a good idea, and we'll see where we are a month or two from now, or maybe even longer. But we'll see. I think that's a good move. So, we should move on to something else now, right? Because I think we're going over an hour.
Okay.
First of all, Pat, welcome back. I heard you were in Turkey. I don't know if you're in the United States now or whatever, but welcome back to the West. Turkey's part of the West now, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Ish,
Yeah, sort of. Pat, do you have any concerns that you would like to voice in this meeting that would be important to what you're doing on the website? Because obviously we were talking about inactivity, and we have seen and noticed that you are very active all the time, which is great. There's no, I'm not sure how I can thank you enough, but what problems, if any, are you seeing that we could address to make things easier for the people on the site or yourself? And if there's nothing, if you say there's nothing, that's fine. Or if you can't come up with something right away, that's fine. But is there anything that any concerns you have, or things you might recommend?
I don't do problems, I do challenges. I'm a happy chappy.
All right. Well, then, that's great.
I've noticed that there's a fall off, as far as I can see, right across the internet on forum use. I don't know if it's because of the changing nature of operating systems or the changing nature of your typical user. But we don't get the level of interaction in any forums that I've seen that we used to get.
Right. You know what? And I think Google also changed their search output. I don't know if it was in March or something, but there is a notification that they changed it. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't think so, but I think that's just to eliminate a lot of spam pages that had been showing up. But yeah, I've noted there is a drop off and a decline in activity and interest, I think, in Windows in general, primarily possibly because a lot of people are buying these Android and Apple devices now, and for the most part, people are kind of split three ways between this mobile architecture that's around now, the standard PC architecture, and then you have these smart books, these ultra books, and these tablets, and a lot of them aren't running Windows. I mean, let's be honest here. Microsoft has like 1% of the operating system market in phones and tablets. Nobody buys a Windows tablet anymore or a Windows phone. And Microsoft did buy what was the name of that company? Nokia, but that's still like, Nokia went bankrupt or something. I don't know what happened to them, and I don't see a lot of people using Nokia phones, to be quite honest with you. In fact, Samsung seems to be the big one, and the Apple iPhone and iPad. So I don't, there is a whole generation of people that are extremely now computer literate, or at least to the point that they know how to push a button on a screen, and they don't really have any use for this type of detailed help anymore, and if they do, they have an IT department that goes around and helps them with their system or whatever you might say, their network. I don't know if that's the case, if that's why, but that's one theory that I had. I don't know if you guys want to chime in, Ross or Joe, or Joe or Ross.
Well, the public, as we know, are quite fickle, and recently, if you'd read anything, well, I say recently, in the last, I would say, like in the last 3 months, if you read any kind of PC computer journals, everybody was saying the same thing, that the PC was dead, it was going to die a death. Nobody, small form factor was the day, blah blah blah. Well, since then they've all realized that the PC isn't dead and isn't going to die, because the gaming, just on the gaming front alone, you can't match a PC's power, especially these small form factor things, and so everyone's now suddenly realized that the PC isn't going to die. And I think what will happen is that eventually this die off will eventually come back,
Hmm. Yeah.
as the general message changes, that PCs aren't actually dying, so I'm hoping that it will improve.
I don't think PCs are dying, but I'm old enough to draw a parallel with radio. And in the early days of amateur radio, there were thousands of radio hands interacting, the equivalent of a computer geek. Then radio moved into commercial broadcasting, and then the final kiss of death was when we got Citizens Band opening up radio to Uncle Tom Cobley and all. Radio ham just don't exist now, and computing has gone the same way. It's opened up to a less geeky, less technically oriented market and just end users.
Right. I mean, there is this theory that the people that use, laptops with graphic intensive graphics processors and stuff, like for gaming, like you said, Ross, and even desktop PCs. When Windows 8 came out, desktop PC sales fell like something like 33%. Like they just self-destructed. But the market is still there. But there is this whole crazy idea that, well, okay, the people that produce things and use their computers to create not just content, but other stuff, architects, AutoCAD, all that stuff. Still be there for those people, the people that are really sort of producing, but the consumption and like the people who just use the internet to browse the web, check their email, blah 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 blah. They'll use like some tablet and some
Oh yeah,
crappy
the
computer that's
PC market
$100.
won't be the same again.
Right, right. I agree with that. Where it's almost like there's been this sort of shift.
Yes.
Like most people, they don't care to know anything about how the operating system works, and they just want to push a
But
button.
at one time they were saying that the demise of the PC was certain. They were saying that was it. It's going. And some pundits were saying, "Oh yeah, within," and there was even saying within so many years you won't even see a PC. Blah 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 blah. Well,
Right.
it's not the case.
Well, of course, you're going to be surrounded by computers. It's just what form they'll take, who knows, in the future, 100 years from now or something. No, it'll just probably be everything's a computer at that point. Your table's a computer. Who knows? But the thing is, yeah, as far as the forum drop off, I don't know if that's what's the cause, or if it's just that we're not interacting with people enough. And
No, like I say, I just
I
think
don't
it's just simply because we've had a new change. We've had a new name. We're not the same forum as we were. We're not Windows 7 forums anymore. We're Windows forums.
Joe, what do you think about all this stuff?
As far as keeping audience retention and getting more users,
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah.
I think it's very hard to predict exactly what will work. I don't think there is a good single answer to that. Where is traffic now compared to Windows 7 forums?
I have to say, it's about halved. It's halved. It kind of is halved, but before we made the switch over to WindowsForum.com, it was about the same. We had started losing people even under the Windows 7 forum thing, but it wasn't. There was still more activity. People were more participatory than I think they are now. Now it's sort of like answer my question, see you later, bye, kind of thing. I think there was still more participation going on. Like people would stick around to communicate with others and stuff like this. Hmm? So maybe you're looking at 16,000 a day now, whereas under Windows 7 forums.com, it was probably about 25,000.
Well,
So there was
16,000 a day is better than what it was. It was only 10. At one.
Yeah, at one point we had only 10. I mean, we've had periods of inactivity, periods of less of less people visiting. We've had that for a long time. The thing is, by switching software, we really streamlined how the search engines index the website and how they can find content. It's a lot easier for that stuff to be found. Also, there is I think there's a trade-off in that people are used to the vBulletin look of forums and not necessarily the way ours looks, but it's not. This is sort of like everyone's switching over to this Zen 4.0, so it's not like we're the only ones that did this. It's a natural progression of the technology that's changing. I just think you're right that there needs to be some more customized content in some way, Ross. Like it shouldn't just look like a generic kind of boring old forum like, okay, let's just click here, and there needs to be something interesting going on, every day, sort of, if we can. Maybe not every day, but once a week, or have some kind of interesting thing happening here.
Well, what about, if you look at the front page, you got the panels running down the side there.
Right.
I mean, could you have a panel that sort of carries the latest IT news, whether it be, I don't know.
But then the thing is, who writes that news and who links to it, and who do you know what I mean?
Isn't there a
We
bot
could do that
available that will just, like news? You've got a news bot rather than the news bot appear in a thread, can it not appear in a panel?
Yes, of course, we could set that up.
I
would say so.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it would perhaps, and if it's, rolling, like rolling news, I was thinking maybe it just creates a bit of just something else to look at.
Yeah, that is definitely, that's not just a possibility. That's something that, like, 3 days from now we can have it on.
Yeah.
That's not like a difficult thing for me to do.
Right. Okay.
So that sounds good. I mean, that would at least present some kind of interface that looks like stuff is going on.
Yeah. If the news.
That show,
If you look
instead
at a lot
of
other I know Facebook, everybody hates it, blah blah blah, or
well, yeah, they hate it, but they still use
but
it, right?
yeah,
Right.
Facebook or MSN or Yahoo or any of these pages, they've all got these little panels down the side with, either pictures in or something's going off, something's happening, and I'm just wondering if perhaps we could get one or two of those, and just, it has to be computer related, obviously, but I don't know, one could sort of link to, like I say, the news or something. Another one could link to, I don't know, maybe if we find a really great
Well,
place.
we could even do like most read posts for today, or what people are reading now.
Yeah.
Like
Didn't
that,
you? You used to have a little panel saying.
Yeah, there was most recent post. There was most recent threads.
Yeah.
There was, there was. We maybe we should restore that. I think.
Yeah.
At the very least, we should restore that. But it's now 9:12 here, and I do have a dental appointment at 9:30. But I can.
Can I suggest something?
I can show up a little late. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to suggest, if you've got to shoot off, can we arrange another meeting for like next week or something?
Yeah, I mean, I hate for Pat to have really, I feel like, Pat, I feel like your time is very valuable, and even Joe and of course Ross. I feel bad that we can't continue, but yeah, we should reschedule for next week. I mean, I hate the idea that Pat came in like 20 minutes ago and now we're say goodbye, kind of thing.
I'm retired. I'm a free agent.
Right. Well, if you would like to come back maybe next week, the thing is, I don't know what's going on next Saturday, but Saturday, maybe we could, well, we'll talk about it on the website if we want to do this again, I'm sure that we should say, okay, let's come back in a week for sure, though.
It would be nice if the way I'm seeing it is because I just think we've got a few unfinished things that we need to, I think, really need to sort it out as a
right.
group,
right. I think as a group, we really need to talk about this Google thing, because I mean, this is just ridiculous with this stuff, with these notifications, and you have 3 days to change the whole website, otherwise we're going to destroy you or whatever. I mean, it's just, that whole thing is a conundrum. It's starting to turn into, Whoosh posted some stupid thing, like, who knows, like 2 years ago maybe. I don't even know when he wrote it. All it was a link to a YouTube video. And a YouTube is obviously owned by Google, correct? So the video is still on YouTube, but they're telling us we can't embed that video on our page because it violates their advertising guidelines, which there's advertisements on the video on YouTube. So what the hell are they talking? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, at this point, after we've dealt with it maybe half a dozen times or close to a dozen times, it's like, really, what are you people doing all day? Do you have nothing better to do? Then look, you can't post a video of a woman in a bikini. I mean, what is this? The Dark Ages? So I'm looking at this as if it's just mind-boggling. What about entertainment sites? I mean, what do they do all day? How do they even exist if this is the case?
And how bad was the nudity? Sorry.
It was. I don't know. I didn't even watch the video. It just there was no nudity involved. It was a YouTube video. It's like crazy.
Has Google never seen a GoDaddy commercial?
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, Joe, and you did mention that Google got a little bit upset with the success of one of your former employers, correct? And
Well,
I'm thinking,
absolutely,
hello?
absolutely.
Yeah,
They actually got hit twice, and we do believe part of that is because that company was also a search company. So
right. Yeah, they don't like they have a double standard, and they did it with PC Magazine, where there's Google ads running on PC Magazine for this article. Somebody linked to this article. It's a hyperlink to that article with a description of the video games and the violence level associated with them. And if you go to the PC Magazine article, there's Google ads all over it. But on our website, if we have an ad talking about this article, the ads need to be removed or the page needs to be removed. Now, in order to create some contraption to remove ads on individual pages, then we start down a slippery slope where now we've got 100 requests to take down certain pages. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to even indulge in that. Every time they ask us to do this, we'll just remove the content unless it's really important content, and then uh, we're just gonna make it public every single time. That's my solution to it, because people will see how crazy this is. At some point, they're going to be like, this is absolute madness that this is happening, and whether or not they want to indulge in that is their choice. But I'm not going to hide it from the public and say, oh, well, yeah, because one day it's going to be something. They're going to say, why did that disappear? Where did it go? And I'm gonna if it becomes something like help fix my brightness problem on my monitor, and they delete it because they don't like what's being said, that is censorship. It's no longer, oh, our community family guidelines. Then that's censorship, and it's getting very. I mean, it may have already passed the point of censorship. I think it's self-censorship because we can't constantly comply with these not they're not even guidelines. They're like, they're being enforced as if they're edicts.
well, why don't we make the minor changes that we discussed today and meet again next week and just continually try to make improvements? I mean, what do you have to lose there? You know what I mean?
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we should move on that. With Google, there's nothing we can do right now. I mean, I assume that some robot is flagging certain pages and some guy's just hitting a check mark on, so whatever. We'll deal with, yeah, we should deal with the tutorials and come back next week. Everybody agree?
Well, actually, I was going to say another good reason for meeting next week is the fact that we could, as Joe suggested, go away, look at some other sites that have got these tutorials and a general look, and collate some data ready for next week when we meet.
Right. And it's important that these people know their websites are in the public domain. So, we had some issues with people about articles and full-length articles being posted from other sites, and I agree with that. That's silly to do that, but a lot of these websites, they're tutorials in the public domain to help people, not just to make money off of their stupid website. So, yes, we can look at some other websites and see what they're doing and see if we can accommodate that as well. So I agree, and we'll meet at a future date next week. That sounds good.
Yeah, and then hopefully Woosh will be there, and I know it's another voice, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully he'll be here. And I see, it's too bad Randy's not around. But whatever. So I see that he's always on the site, but he's not participatory in the discussions anymore. But whatever. All right. So, okay, we'll meet again next week. Sound good?
Sure.
Joe?
Yep, sounds good.
Pat?
Okay, put it in my diary.
All right. Thank you so much. And the exact date and time, I think we need to, if we do want other people to participate, I'm going to try to send out emails. I'm going to try to put a big notification on the top of the website, all sorts of stuff, so people are aware that this is the time and date. Try to do that later today.
Okay. Brilliant.
All right.
All right. Well, yeah. Well, I'll see you guys next week then, and we'll arrange a date. And you know,
And certainly, if there's,
I'm quite
you know,
excited. I'm quite, now we've got things going, and we're going to be meeting again next week. We've got ideas what to do, and yeah, great, brilliant.
right, we have a brainstorm here, and we can just make that manifest into reality. So
It's
that
down
will work.
to us, isn't it? You know what I mean? We're the,
Right. I mean, no one else is going to do it,
Yeah.
so we might as well just move forward.
let's do it.
All right.
Brilliant.
All right.
Brilliant.
Everyone have a great day,
And you.
and